Turtle, go poop. Go poop. Please. I don't want it to poop on me. Welcome, my little darlings, to something a bit different today. I'm bringing you to 3 Artist Alley experiences and reviews, showcasing the first conventions that I took a part in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, I don't live in Nevada. I live in Idaho. But not much goes on in Idaho, so I have to travel to do fun things. So follow along my amateur journey as I bring you insights, numbers, recommendations, hijinks, and hopefully useful tips if you're looking into exhibiting yourself. And if you're not, hopefully a good time. The year is 2022. I got the idea in my head that I wanted to start attending conventions as an artist in artist alleys. So I did. Here's a documentation and review of 3 conventions attended in 2022 and 2023, all in the glorious city of Las Vegas, Nevada. Unicon, Cosplay Expo, and amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con. Let's begin with one of my worst waking nightmares to date. Except, unfortunately, this dream was real. The end of the year was approaching, and final calls for any close-by conventions were few and far between. Typically, conventions require at least 6 months in advance for the new application process, as I'd later discover. At the time, there was only one window left open in the available conventions. At the time, there was only one window left open in the available conventions, a driving distance away from Idaho before the new year. Little did I know, by looking into it, I'd be making the worst financial decision of my convention career. It should have been a definite red flag to me that Unicon table spaces, first come, first served by the way. You just have to pay and you're in. Were still open 2 months before the convention itself was being held. I, being giddy simply to participate, made a lot of art, purchased an entire table setup, though, as you'll see, it's a bit rudimentary, booked a room in a suspicious hotel, and wrapped up miscellaneous ends as November approached. Unicon 2022 was held not in a convention center, but the World Market Center, outside of the popular parts of downtown Las Vegas. Let us increase the red flag count to 2. Walk further in front of me. It still folds somewhere.
Do it better.
Oh, wait.
Did you?
Yeah, like that.
I have a hammer.
This is what happened in the cave in the fire. I'm such a girl in a dress, dude.
Yeah.
Wait till I'm not dressed as a girl. I will be a lot more,
Able to move?
Yeah, and a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something.
Bundle of dry twigs.
You go.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got a mini con haul because we didn't have cash, so we took some 20s and bought some little items. Let me show you around. This flawless white gem bracelet of just a crisp $1 and this just dollar green shade a bracelet also for $1. And this cute little mushroom was only $2. So long story short, we now finally have cash because our first ever sale, which is usually a magical experience, frame your dollar, guy comes up, wants to buy cash. We had none, so we had to give him a discount so that we could give him back bills that we could actually tender. So we got some cash. The convention was only in one large room and shared next-door neighboring activities with a Christmas market, whose entry was free. Hey! Stop! No chewing cabinets. No chewing cabinets. There he goes, he's gone. Unicon's, though it should have been, was not. All panels, special guests, artists, and vendors cramped together in a small, poorly laid out space. Soon after setting up the first morning of Friday, we began to notice our 3rd red flag. Empty tables. Many empty tables. a lot of the artists and vendors had simply decided not to show up. It isn't atypical to have a few here or there across an entire convention hall, but half of the entire row across from us? The booth owner straight across the aisle took advantage and expanded her display to both tables beside her. We later learned from her that she was invited back and was doing negative numbers, so there's some foreshadowing for the impending future. I had no expectations for my first ever Artist Alley, and I hadn't been to an excessive number of conventions as a guest either. But even as someone with an untrained eye such as me, red flag number 4, there were next to no guests. It was literally maybe one every 2 minutes. It was bad. Prior to attending, I emailed and I asked for an attendee estimate. They provided me with 5,000 minimum. The consensus between the artists there that there was no way there was any more than 2,000, but closer to the 1,000 side of the metric. With hope, I looked forward to Saturday, the day that it was supposed to be the bustliest, the hustliest. Here's a spoiler. I did $54 and 0 cents in sales on Saturday, the supposed busiest day. In fact, I don't know if I'm gonna do this for every show, but here are my sales for each day. Exact. Feast your eyes. Now this is due in some part to me. On my first ever convention, there were things I was bound to be doing wrong, comfortabilities I'd gain, and improvements to my display, my products, those sorts of things. Oh no. You dropped it. Eat it! That's your payment for doing this segment. 1 millet sprig. It's fair.
You pay me in millet.
And you like it.
You sold a regular show, correct? Hey, what time is it? You're so mean. So what time is it? Take 2?
3:23. By this point, many artists were packing up and leaving. This is when things began to get, let us say, unprofessional. And I do not care if I get blacklisted from Unicon for sharing this insight. If there is somehow even a Unicon to speak of anymore. They actually had a 2023 event a few months later in March, somehow. But the website hasn't since updated and that yearly countdown timer has reset. This footage was taken in 2024, by the way. I heard horror stories. Oh, so many horror stories. Now this is alleged, in case, for some reason if I could get into legal trouble, but by day 2, a few artists had hushedly approached me and told me that a few of those who were attempting to leave early were being yelled at and made to cry by the organizers. Organizer? It was a guy, one single guy, walking around in really snazzy suits, I'll admit it, each day. But that's as little as I can remember about our brief meeting, other than I lied through my teeth to tell him I was doing well at the show, since it was my first con and I had no idea how I was doing comparatively to the others at that time. Sunday was somehow the busiest day. As you already saw, it was my highest for sales, if you can qualify that under a metric of any kind. Though, even at its strongest, at its busiest, the halls of Unicon remained desolate at best. I think I'd given up so heartily by this point that my attitude was at its most jovial, outgoing, and unhinged. This, I actually think, worked to my advantage and helped me be more approachable and confident. I've tried to employ the deranged derailment experienced on day 3 of Unicon in the energy of all my future cons.
We're dim. We're AP. We're dim. We're dim.
Maybe Jim went to pee.
Jim is peeing. Jim pooping. I don't think he'll appreciate this.
But I want to see
When he watches, of course.
Of course.
Stupid. You're so stupid. Okay, literally 5 minutes, not even 5, it's been like 3 minutes since filming that weird little Jim Cummings bit where we just sat here staring at his booth. There was this guy standing in front of our booth, and I was talking to this little kid, and this person over here was staring off into space, and I hit her and I whispered, I was like, is that Jim Cummings? And as he's walking away, she missed him. She missed him. He was right there, standing in front of our booth, and she missed him.
Don't be mean to me.
You're gonna regret that for the rest of your life.
I think I will.
So?
I got ignored by Jim Cummings.
Wait, what? No, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
I went up there and I like went up and he's like, good to see you again. And I was like, well, I'm glad you saw me the first time.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
He's like, so what can I do for you? I was like, I just wanted to say hi. He's like, oh, okay. And then the other girl that he was paying attention to was gonna come get her vinyl figures of Winnie the Pooh signed. So I guess I'm just ignored by Jim Cummings now. And he will regret it. He will rue the day that he ignored me. Jim.
And I don't want to completely stain this experience I'm sharing. The people there were incredibly kind, and those who cosplayed were very talented. It was lovely to meet people and get eased into that notion of conventions. And I set the literal worst bar that could be set right from the get-go, so every convention since then immediately goes into the book as not my worst. I have a metric of success across all my future cons. Did I make more on my first day than I did of all of Unicon? If the answer is yes, I'm pretty much always happy with the final resulting con. Feel free to use this metric for yourself.
And now we have to take it all down.
We went to casinos after that, because after all, I made such a profit, why not go blow it all in classic Las Vegas style?
Yeah. I don't know if I got rid of all my coins though. Here's the thing.
I have some.
She want to charge for your room.
I'll do a quarter.
Your quarter? I'll do a $50.
Do not do a $50. Oh, you're lucky. I gotta think. Alright.
What'd you wish for?
I'm not telling.
And also the tree. I like the tree.
I bet $1 and I made 5 cents, so you better believe I'm gonna go cash that right now. Mwah. Look how you going.
Yeah.
This is our lucky nickel. This means more than that $1 ever did.
Penthouse. Denny's.
I already lost the nickel, so I don't think that's a very good sign.
Your windshield's dirty.
Thanks.
It's filming.
Oh. Hey. Guess what?
Hmm?
I know you lost your nickel,
Yeah.
but guess what you still got?
The peace bracelets.
The peace bracelets! Woo!
We didn't tell them that story yet.
Tell them about the feast bracelets.
I'll tell them later.
One of us gonna get in here.
What do they want? Do they think we have something?
I have no idea. They want food.
I don't have it.
They're in front of us now. They're blocking us. They want a food.
Okay, wait. Okay, go.
Alright.
Go.
Am I free?
Go. Go.
Alright.
Go.
Goodbye, pigeon. Las Vegas Strip. Cactus Pits! It's Cactus Pits!
So, in conclusion, was this a good experience? Yes, we turned this trip into a blast. Was it a learning experience? Absolutely. I took so much from this and have seen continuous improvement at every con since. Was it a profitable experience? What do you think? Would I ever recommend attending Unicon? No. No, do not. Do not go to this convention. It is poorly run, poorly advertised, poorly communicated, poorly executed, and poorly profitable. Do not go. I can't even remember what I paid for this table. It was not worth it. I don't know what's going to become of Unicon. Maybe it'll be resurrected. Maybe it'll go through a rebrand, whatever it is. Even if it's a completely different con, do your research. Do your research. Make sure what you're attending is not rebranded Unicon. No con is safe. No new con can be trusted because it could be Unicon again. Okay, no, I'm kidding. But my point, this is not a joke in entirety. Stay safe out there, kids. Don't go with strangers. Check your Halloween candy. See something, say something, and don't go to Unicon. No. I went back to my 2022 business expenses to check the table price. It was $166. That is ridiculous. I didn't even make back up twice the table cost. Now to the other convention that was still available for table purchase before 2022 ended. Luckily, Cosplay Expo 2022 was not nearly the dumpster fire that Unicon was. However, it was still a very small con, though I went in expecting that. I paid around $120 to $130 for this table, which is very modest for a table price, though at a con of this size, I think it was fair. The venue for Cosplay Expo was a lot more reputable. The brand new Caesars Forum building, which I can tell they paid out the wazoo for, and some other funding items might have fallen through the cracks, but it was held in a moderately sized hall in the Forum and a few exterior rooms for some panels. While the Forum was beautiful, it was not worth the awful walk to get into it. So many guests that eventually made it into the hall remarked that it was ridiculously complicated to even try to find, and much less enter the place. I have it on camera for posterity's sake. Actually, you'll see it. And that video is from the closest possible parking spot.
Might it have behooved me to try this out before we got here, perhaps?
Did you?
No, it's still in the packaging.
I don't know, maybe you replaced it in the packaging.
Okay, just a bunch of tent poles. Oh, look. We're trying a new business strategy.
I'm not.
You are tomorrow, and don't you lie. And I will make sure they see what you look like.
I think Unicon set a bad precedent because nobody bought a single large print, so I only bought one each. My first two sales were large prints.
That's a secret.
I have to pee.
really bad. I've sold out of 4 larges already. It's the off day. Where are people getting this money? Buy the small ones.
A few things changed in the month span between Cosplay Expo and Unicon. For one, we got a photo display stand for a rudimentary backdrop, but it was a step up. For another, we decided to try our tabling separately. Hello. For one, we got a photo. For one, we got a photo display stand. For another, we decided to try out tabling separately due to the cheap costs of the tables. This is not something we often opt to do much these days. It's very difficult running an entire booth by yourself, even at a small, uneventful event. We reserve the practice for small events with cheaper tables. I think for my second convention, I would not have made this decision. I think for my second convention, I would not make this decision as we were both still very unpracticed. There's about 5,000 to 6,000 attendees, according to the organizers when I asked, and I would say this number was accurate. Unicon tainted a few of my expectations. I did not have enough product, especially in large prints. Some of them I only had one spare. I had to dip into the display prints behind me to get them to some people. And though it may seem like duh, after Unicon you have to understand there were no duhs.
A lot better today. I've only sold out of a couple more larges. The Lich, he's just mediums now.
I heard someone on a video recently say that they would get tired by the end of the day, just constantly keeping their happy social face on, and I was like, oh, that's weak. That's weak. But now my social battery has gotten a nightcap and a candle holder and said honk shoe, honk shoe.
I just finished signing a huge stack of postcards and titling them. I was running low. At least I have something to do. This place closes at 8, but my good friend George next to me got tired. I might be soon to follow. Personal collection area. The keychains are for some nice folks. The duct tape is from somebody in a big hat and cloak covered in duct tape, and staff from whence they pulled a bunch of duct tape off, calling themselves the Duct Tape Wizard and blessing my day.
Are you enjoying the music?
No.
Oh.
There's not a lot of footage of Cosplay Expo. One, because we were both busy exhibiting, and two, because honestly, there was not a lot that went on at Cosplay Expo. I'd say definitely worth the experience if you're local, but if you're traveling, paying hotels, gas, flight, all the other costs that come with it, probably not gonna be worth your profit. I about broke even at this convention. Here's some approximate numbers. Sorry if you want exacts. I never report exacts. I have my reasons.
What does that mean?
Breaking even is not the worst, but it isn't the best, considering you're losing a lot of product for no gain. Look at me, a businessman. Cosplay Expo was another great learning experience, however. It helped me get my feet beneath me and understand how these events are supposed to run when done correctly. Certainly not a loss, and from what I learned at this convention, I've since profited at every one since its time.
Not true.
Okay, except one. I forgot about that one. I'll talk about it later.
I had to try it. It looks so good. Oh, let's just see what they look like. Ah, it's nothing like the picture. Look at it. Literally, they smashed two of them together. I can respect it though. I can do it on my own DIY for a lot cheaper, however. This hotel is going to be a little interesting. It's a very mixed bag. It'll be quite the gamble, which is a good theme for Vegas. But some were 10 out of 10, some were 2 out of 10. Highest you can go, lowest you can go on the app I was looking at. So some places are great, but the complaints are it's either really loud. There's 4 buildings. A couple of them are right up next to a nightclub. Some people say just vibrates your bones while you try to sleep. The other issue is that it could be really dirty. I saw lots of comments about no vacuuming and hair in the shower.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. Really gross. And lastly, they don't guarantee a non-smoking room, even if you booked a non-smoking room. So, and some people say the staff is amazing and super friendly. And some people say the staff is so mean and unhelpful. It's gonna be a very 50-50.
Brianna, she was the worst.
The aura of Monica at the front desk.
Amazing Las Vegas Comic-Con was at the end of April of 2023. This was not my third con. I actually had 2 other conventions in between this one that soon you'll see. But by this point in time, I was more confident, we had our feet planted, we were ready to take on another Las Vegas con, and they set us in the absolute back corner that was shrouded in the hazy fog of misdirection, the swampy smog of zero signage, and the woeful labyrinthine path of non-existence. Yeah, we fought this hard the entire time. There were some other displays on the next aisle over that bled out into the walkway, and they blocked any knowledge or awareness of our little corner existing. In fact, our whole aisle actually did poorly, I think. There were no attractions, special guests, food courts, or even bathrooms on the side of the wall that would draw guests in. And so it became kind of frustrating for a lot of artists on our same row, and they, along with I, went to the organizers at some point throughout the show, asking for some signage or maybe a little bit of verbal direction to our end. Honestly, anything that would be possible. We were ignored.
Last night, we couldn't even get through this light. There were so many people. Vegas during the day is top tier convenience.
Absolutely. We got straight.
I think, straight. You know, it's a very just normal average city in the daytime, isn't it?
Smells like weed.
And pee. I love palm trees. They're so cute. This is by far the best weather we've had yet at a convention. Or at all. The year is finally getting warmer. And Vegas right now in April.
Is that the Freemasons?
Yeah. Fun city. Hold on, I don't know how to do that editing thing, so I'm gonna do it manually. B is B. I don't know what this street is, but we've just passed 3 little eloping wedding chapels.
Ooh.
It's hot.
Hot.
Nevada's hot.
Hot.
Manual labor in Nevada's hot.
It's hot. Why are you talking about manual labor? I'm the one pulling the suitcases out of the car.
It's so tiring just standing here watching you.
This was a bigger convention, estimated around 15 to 20,000 guests. My estimate would place the number on the lower end of that spectrum. The table in 2023 cost $260. I'm not sure how well tables on other rows did, but compared to how much I made, I would definitely call that price high. I profited, but only because I sold the almost $500 compass book that I actually made a few videos back. This one's hard exactly to pinpoint what I would do differently, as I truly feel that the location was messing with my sales. Here are my approximate numbers for each day. I broke even and profited a few hundred in the convention and travel costs, but if you were to factor in business and material costs, no, not really. And definitely not in labor costs for all the books I sold.
So there's not a lot of people here, and it's already 11, but that's actually because this con's awesome and opens at 3, which is revolutionary. But it must be a Vegas thing, because people are probably hungover. Grace is on pole duty.
Jamie's on square duty.
Keep breaking all the circles. And I checked. You can't just order new circles. You have to buy more squares to get more circles. And I have so many squares. That. What you up to? Day 1, complete. Day 1, I don't know if I can call it a success. It was very slow. It smells like coffee in this car. Why, you ask? Because I spilled coffee in this car, and I haven't cleaned it. So, it's Saturday. We have very little foot traffic. I think this area of the hall doesn't exist in the brains of most people in here, which, don't blame them. You can't even tell it's over here. I'm just in the corner. Most tables are empty. It's Saturday at noon. It's supposed to be the high point of a con, and people nearby us, right across from us, are packing up and leaving. If that is any indicator. I sold a couple things to exhibitors. So that's where we're at. I think I might be taking the L on this one.
Unicon.
No, it's not that bad. It isn't as bad as your con. But breaking news: the hand sniffer is here. He's here again. Every Vegas con I've been to, the hand sniffer has come up and shaken my hand.
There was also another, should I say, prolific visitor at this convention. I in no way want the identity of this person sought after, and I prioritize their privacy, but this person is so prolific that I'm actually worried that they'd be recognized across Las Vegas events, as I mentioned this here. They were at all three of these events that I attended. I was a victim the first 2 times, caught on unawares and direly distraught after I learned that I'd fallen prey to the hand sniffer, a person that kept going around holding or shaking the hands of girls and then sniffing them as he turned away. Hold on. Can we do a recreation?
Hold on.
It'd be like, hello, princess. He did say princess. Hello, princess. I may be dramatizing just a bit. It was a little subtler than that, but it was still not very subtle at all.
Apparently there's a lot of really famous comic artists here, and I didn't know that. I didn't really look at the guests, I gotta be real. And they're just interspersed randomly throughout the hall in booths. And so at the end of the day yesterday, this guy comes up. Just to me, he's just this guy, and he's like, I had to see what you were selling, because I'm sitting over there, and you just look like you're gonna be on a cooking show. Just do a quick pan. This is my cottagecore outfit. Cooking show. And your art is so creepy. This is the biggest surprise of the night. And I was like, oh, okay. I got into conversation with the guy. I was like, what are you doing? What do you sell? He's like, oh, I'm one of the comic artists. You know Thanos? That guy? I was like, who doesn't? He said, I made that guy. I was like, huh? He said, yeah, like Gamora, Guardians, you know? I made them. And I so didn't believe this guy. But apparently, no, that was the guy. That was the guy. I met the guy who made Thanos, and he didn't like my art.
Shit, someone's at your booth.
Actually, the guy who said he made Thanos came back over. I told him I still didn't really believe him, but I did learn that it was true. I didn't tell him I still didn't believe him, but I told him I didn't believe him yesterday. And I said I finally figured out who you were. He says, yeah, I'm Jim. He is Jim. Jim Starlin, apparently. He did make Thanos, and I got to meet him twice for free. So that was pretty cool. Did also make note though that I still look like Martha Stewart. I can't get a read on the guy and what he thinks of me, but he's a kind man.
I like him a lot.
I do too. It's something.
What do you think ice and soda restroom needs?
Well, there is a toilet. There.
This is an opportunity also to bring up something else that's important. Spoiler alert for some future conventions that I'll be showing you, but the location, even the city and state, have a big part to play in how much money people spend, or are willing to spend. On trend for all the Vegas cons, the people in the big LV don't like to commit to a purchase. I make a lot fewer sales here than in other places in just terms of quantity. Whereas in Oregon, I make a lot of tiny sales because the folks there don't like to drop as much money on big on-the-fly purchases. Whereas in California, people are willing to spend a lot of money and often, which is why I guess there's so many California conventions and the tables are a lot more expensive. This is due to a lot of things you could go through and dissect: socioeconomic factors, cities, areas at the convention, a lot of other stuff. And it might not have been your experience for everybody, but for somebody who's been to a lot of them by now, this is what I've noticed from place to place. So I don't know if I should say, as a whole, I even recommend Nevada if you're traveling. It's just the clientele. It's windy. Oh, there we go.
Is that the Sawtooth Mountains?
Dude, you didn't give any context. No one's gonna know what the heck you're talking about.
Those mountains, are these sawtooths? It looks like the tooth of a saw.
At the end of the day, none of these cons are really in my recommended list. Unless you're local, then of course it's worth it. It's certainly worth it to attend the two latter conventions. They're a good time. The people are lovely, but for a traveler, Las Vegas is just not the place to make a huge profit. I have yet to visit the most prolific of Las Vegas conventions, Level Up Expo, and perhaps in the future I'll get the chance to compare and contrast with these three experiences. If there are takeaways from today, I would say this: attend local events to get your experience, research the convention size beforehand and compare that with how willing you are to spend money on the travel, table costs, all that, and keep track of all your expenses and sales so that you can see if you make more than I did at Unicon. And also, don't ever go to Unicon. Let me know if you have questions. I'm not here to gatekeep, so I'd love to help out anyone who's curious. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this was either helpful, entertaining, or both. Join me again soon for more convention adventures as I learn my way in the world of Artist Alley, and keep an eye on my socials to see which ones I'll be attending next. If you made it this far, you're incredible. And you don't have to like and subscribe, but you do have to build me a shrine in your sink and show it to me before you wash it away. Good night.